9 o'clock, I hereby call
This meeting to order. We have 3 of us, so we have a quorum.
Yes.
So that's good. Approval of today's agenda.
I make the motion.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, today's agenda is approved. How about the approval of minutes from the last meeting?
So.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Man, we're rolling today. Okay. New business to appoint a civil service clerk. I think we need like a campaign speech or something.
Well, I did not come with a campaign speech, but I would just request your appointment of me again as your clerk for this position.
I make the motion, we appoint Allison as clerk.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
You can't get out now.
It's too late now.
All right, now the tough part, chair and vice chair. Can we find somebody good? Any place?
I don't know.
All right.
I make the motion that the officers as they exist continue for another year.
All right.
Okay, I guess, no, I don't know. My term ends in March. I did ask for an extension, but I haven't heard anything, so I assume no news is no news.
So I think if you're comfortable, both of you filling these roles again, if for some reason you weren't renewed as a commissioner, we would just take another vote at that time. So
Okay,
I think I'm comfortable. If you're both willing to serve in these roles, then we'll proceed.
yeah.
Otherwise you're stuck.
There we go.
All right.
So somebody second it?
Oh, I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried.
Done.
Firefighter engineer, establish a recruitment process.
Okay, for firefighter engineer, we are looking to create a new list for this position, which is the first promotional rank within the fire department. We're actually looking to have the same process, testing process, as we did previously. And we are asking for your approval again, or for that process again. So for the written exam, we have 3 components. The written exam, we would weight at 45%. The practical exam, we would weight at 45%. And the interview, we would weight at 10%. The candidates do need to pass each component with a 70% or higher to continue to move forward in that process.
So we're approving what has been.
Correct. It currently is not a standard testing process within our civil service rules. So whenever we deviate from those testing processes in the civil service rules, we do need to come to you for your approval.
What's different about this than regular civil service rules?
With civil service, we have 2 options for entry-level positions. I know this is not an entry-level position, but we have an option where the written component is only weighted at 100%. Or we have option B, where the written component is weighted at 30% and the interview is weighted at 70%. Again, candidates do need to pass each component with a 70% or higher to move forward in the process. We do have another approved process for entry-level fire and PD, where it's the physical agility test, pass or fail. Written is at 30% and interview is at 70%.
Why is this different than the, can't you fit in with one of the other procedures?
I see what you're saying. So one thing, and Chief Carlson, you may want to step up here too to make sure I am correct, but with this position, with it being a firefighter engineer, they're actually going to be driving a fire engine. So we do want to test them on that capability as well. We also want to make sure that they understand the building standards for when they go to fight fires. So that would be part of the written component. And then again, the driving course along with the interviews. So
And
that's why
let me
we
just
would-
add one thing here. So this is For all of our public safety promotional positions, we look at a different process for this. So instead of doing a 100% test or a 70-30 split, we look at this 45-45-10 split, so we can have a more robust process, especially as you move up higher in the ranks. We want to make sure that you are both technically and from a leadership perspective, able to perform the job duties. So for this position, Gina's correct, that we are looking at their technical knowledge, we're looking at their ability to handle the truck, handle all of that, and then if ever they had to move up, their leadership role as well. So verbal communication, all of that, we want to test. And she does a great job outlining it in the memo as well.
Okay.
Okay. And then next is our custodian position.
I guess just interjecting here, none of us has ever been late before. So, this is a first. That one of the commissioners
Blame it
is
on the
late.
snow.
No, blame it on trying to get grades in for the son. Okay.
Perfect. So custodian, we are looking to update the minimum qualifications. This is an entry-level position in our Teamsters Union. If you look halfway down the page at qualifications, we're looking to add a physical because this is a physical demanding position. And that would be the only change we're asking for approval for.
Okay.
Okay. Are we calling for a
That's it.
motion now?
That is it? Yes.
Okay. I move that we approve the 4 positions as presented.
Second?
Seconded.
All those in favor?
But for clarification here, so you're approving the firefighter engineer recruitment process and also the custodian update to minimum qualifications. Is that your motion, Pat? Okay,
All as presented.
okay. All right, so could you repeat the vote? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
What
So
you-
Pat, Commissioner Zamora, you made the motion, and who was the second?
Second.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
Okay, and all of you, were you all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's get old business. Certification list, civilian gun crime data analyst.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Happy 2024. So this is a civilian position within the Crime Analytics Unit. About several months ago, you approved the minimum qualifications. This was a 30/70 process. It's a non-bargaining position. So the minimum qualifications were what we were looking for was a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, computer science, statistics, research analysis, or a closely related field, and some work experience in that as well. We're looking for them to obtain a professional certification within 3 years of hire. For example, Certified Law Enforcement Analyst, CLIA, could be a particular option for that. They have to go through a background investigation and must reside within the Iowa, Illinois area within 2 years. So our process, we had 60 applicants from across the United States that applied for this position. 48 of those candidates were actually qualified and invited to participate in the written exam that we did. 27 did not respond to that request, so they essentially disqualified themselves immediately from the process. 3 withdrew from the process, and 8 scored below 70%. That left us with 10 that passed the written exam and were invited to the presentation and interview portion. 3 did not show to the interview, 3 withdrew from the process, and 1 scored below 70%. That left us with 3 that passed and went into the background investigation. 1 did not pass the background. That left us with 2 qualified candidates for your consideration that are on the list for approval today.
Question.
Yes, Ms. Zamora.
The one person who got all the way down to the end and did not pass the background investigation, can he clean things up and do it again?
Potentially in the next process, once if we have another open process, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Can always apply again, yes.
So the thing, the thing, we'll use that general term, that disqualified him is repairable.
Given some time, possibly, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right,
Absolutely.
thank you.
You bet, thank you.
You said last time this is a trend for police departments all around the nation, so that's the reason we're doing it?
The addition of using data to assist in professional law enforcement, absolutely. You see a lot of departments across the US introducing crime analyst, and not only a gun crime analyst, but a regular crime analyst. But the use of data is the trend, yeah. And the use of the data actually transcends into giving our officers that are on the street real-time data that they can use in the enforcement and the arrest of individuals. And it allows better linking of the crime scenes and the guns used in the crimes and the suspects that are causing those incidents.
But don't
So,
the officers on the street already know who it is? I mean, this is
most-
kind of like a backward circle.
Most likely, but sometimes with the addition of additional data and intelligence, that just bolsters the investigation and the case. So, yeah, this is the trend across the United States.
I understand, I'm not completely sold.
Sure, yeah.
I think, I would add one thing. If you think about a police officer, you think about very traditional tools that they have, maybe, their gun and their badge, obviously, but they have all sorts of different equipment over there, physical equipment. The data that Scott is referencing is another tool in their tool belt. It's a newer idea, not completely new right now, but it's another tool in their tool belt to help them be more effective, so they can be proactive instead of reactive.
And how would that work? How would you be proactive? I
Because-
mean, you know that John Q. whatever is the bad guy over here in West Davenport has guns and all that, and you already know that, so how's this gonna change effectiveness, how you?
Really, this is making sure that everyone has the same information too, because maybe one officer doesn't quite understand the linkage over at this particular case, but with the reports that the crime analyst units puts out, everyone then is on the same page, everyone knows they can see the same heat maps, so they know exactly where all the crime areas are, and then everyone's on the same page and can respond as necessary.
So this individual is really doing more than just gun analyzing.
Exactly, yeah.
They're doing crime analysis.
Exactly, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the crime analysis unit, as in its totality, is looking at the full picture. But gun crime, because we have a gun crime unit, of course, as you know, is proliferated in our community, and they'll be working focused on that particular aspect.
I mean, the fact that they have a computer right there in their passenger seat and they can get real-time data, I think this is great.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
really good.
Yeah. It's neat stuff.
Is this something that they can, like, have live, like someone asks a question and they can answer it, like, right then? Or is this just data that's in the computer bank that they can access?
They can turn around the data almost instantaneously. If there's something that they need to push out to the patrol division or the criminal investigation division, they can do so almost instantaneously, review
Like
that
an
data.
officer, assuming it's during their work hours,
Absolutely, yeah.
an officer can request specific data.
And they do, yeah. They can call the crime analytics unit and say, hey, I want to see if there's a linkage here. Can you help me discern what's going on? And I've seen that happen. So, yeah, this
So
is a good
this is
tool.
something that's just a day shift thing, or they have some of this stuff?
Primarily, it is during the day shift that the work is being done, but it's flexible as needed, as law enforcement is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say one thing.
Yes,
I'm happy to see we have a female on the final list.
that's right. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Yes.
But they're also young.
Well, compared to you.
Yeah, I know.
I'll have to come down for a tour and
Yes.
Phil
I was
convinced me.
I was about to offer that. I think that could be very beneficial, Mike. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
For all of you,
You
absolutely.
haven't spent time in the back end of a police car?
Not
Great.
that you know.
Well, I appreciate your consideration of this list. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks.
And there's the stats. Okay, turn it over to Gina.
Okay, next up, we have our laborer position, which is an entry-level position in our public, street division of Public Works, and we had a 30-70 split. So applicants need a high school diploma or GED equivalent, have a valid driver's license, and then obtain their Class B with air brake endorsement within 3 months of hire. And then again, we have our physical background and residency requirements. So we had 25 applicants, 21 of those were qualified and invited to the written exam. 10 did not show, and 1 did score below 70%. So that left us with 10 candidates passing the written and invited to the interview. 1 was disqualified, and 3 scored below 70%, leaving us with 6 candidates that passed both the interview and background check and are on the list to be certified. Okay? And we have our stats. Okay. Next, we have our electrical inspector, which is an entry-level position in the building division of our Development and Neighborhood Services Department. And we did have a 30-70 split. It is part of the AFSCME union. So applicants do need a high school diploma or GED equivalent and 3 years of experience in the electrical trade at the journeyman level, or we would take the equivalent. They do need to obtain their IC, or International Conference of Building Officials certification within 1 year. We had 7 applicants, 5 were qualified and invited to the written exam, 2 withdrew, and 2 did not show, leaving us with 1 candidate that passed the written exam. They passed the interview and background check and are on the list to be certified. And we have our stats. Next up is our mechanic position. Again, it's another entry-level position in the fleet division of Public Works, and our written exam was weighted at 100%. So applicants need a high school diploma or GED equivalent, have 1 year of experience, possess a valid driver's license, and obtain their Class B CDL with air brake endorsement within 90 days, must be able to possess their personal tools, and again, physical and background and residency requirements. We had 5 applicants. Those 5 candidates were qualified and invited to the written exam. 3 did not schedule, 1 did score below 70%, leaving us with 1 candidate that passed the written, passed the background, and is on the list to be certified today.
Question?
Sure.
If this person who qualified in every other way didn't have his tools, would there be a way to help him get them?
So, yes, there is. We do have a tool allowance. However, this is an industry standard, so if they do have 1 year of experience, they probably do possess some of those tools, but we would work with them. And the larger tools, more expensive tools, we would provide for them as well.
Thank you.
You're
This
welcome.
position, like the one before, it, there was only 1 that's eligible. Now,
Yes.
there is an interview in there or something. If they just find this person to be just a disgusting human being, they qualify, but, you know,
So our electrical inspector does work out in the field and they do work with residents. So we do want to make sure that they are able to communicate clearly as well. The mechanic is typically in our fleet division, so they are working with their coworkers. So we do again have our 6-month probationary period that they would need to pass to. But for this position, we did opt not to do an interview.
so if, so irregardless of, okay, this, the person, everybody hates them, they don't get along, whatever, they would be offered the job, and then they would be probably discharged in probationary time.
If there was,
I think, I see where you're going, that it's, if we only have a written exam, we haven't necessarily met with them and all of that. Certainly a list of 1 limits our ability to hire from a group of people that, you know, pick who we want to hire. However, like Gina said, we have the probationary period where we can make sure that they possess the knowledge, skills, and abilities to perform the work, which includes getting along with coworkers and things like that as well. You want to make sure that they're a good organizational fit. But this is a specialized position. I'm not surprised by either of those, the electrical inspector or the mechanic. Those are very specialized positions with high technical skills. So I think we are excited to have a list of one for each of them that we are able to fill those positions.
Okay,
Okay, moving on to our transit safety and training coordinator position. This is a promotional position in the transit division of Public Works, and we did have a 30-70 split. So candidates do need a high school diploma or GED equivalent, plus 2 years of experience in passenger vehicle training or safety. They do need to have a Class B CDL with air brake and passenger endorsements for at least 2 years at the time of application. And then we do have our physical background and residency requirements. So we had 4 applicants. 1 candidate was qualified and invited to the written exam. They did pass that written exam. They were invited to the interview. They did pass the interview as well, and they're on the list to be certified today. And then our
3 of them with 1 candidate. That makes your jobs pretty easy. Or
So-
hard.
Again, for this position, it's it's a promotional position, and it's a technical position. So Gina's got the minimum qualifications up there. It doesn't just require a commercial driver's license. That's a high enough threshold. It also requires this training experience. This person will be in charge of training others on driving those transit buses, the city buses. So we want to make sure that they're fully qualified, fully capable, and I think we do have a very strong candidate.
Yes.
Just for general information now, where you have a number of places where there are multiple people that are qualified. Do you very often have it where somebody that didn't get it files a grievance or whatever for non-union positions would be?
Certainly, people can ask for feedback. If I failed the interview, what could I have done better? And we can provide that. People who are not, so Gina wouldn't provide feedback. We have somebody outside of the civil service process providing that feedback because we do want people to improve. Our employees can come in and we can help them grow and be ready for the next promotional opportunity.
Or as opposed to, how can I do better? It's like, you picked the wrong one. I am significantly more qualified. Could be a more adversarial one than just general
Certainly,
discussion.
we don't always make everyone happy.
Yes.
And as a manager and as HR, we accept that and we're always going to have people that are frustrated that they didn't get picked, but we can give them the tools to improve and that's as much as we can do for them. I think also it's important to take bad news as gracefully as good news, and that's another message we can give to them, that you may not have been picked this time, but it's important to be professional and respectful so that when the next opportunity comes, you are considered for that one as well.
Okay.
Okay. And that concludes our list certifications for today.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right, I entertain a motion to approve the certification list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so carried. Wow, adjourned.
I have a couple things before you adjourn, if you're okay with that.
All right.
So first, on the agenda, it shows the next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, February 14th. After we sent out this agenda, we're able to confirm a date to reschedule that meeting. So the meeting has been moved from February 14th to Wednesday, February 7th at 9 a.m. So I appreciate your flexibility in that and accommodating schedules here. Secondly, and I think most importantly, I want to introduce our new HR assistant. We have a new member of our team, Jana Jackson in the back there. Jana started with us back in December and she's already hitting the ground running. So we're very excited to have her on board and she's going to be help supporting all of us. So we hope you welcome her and we're very excited to have her.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order? I'd entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned, 9:24.
All right.
Okay, so it's on the 3rd.
Yeah, 14th is Valentine's Day.